process by which a relatively enduring change in behavior occurs as a result of practice. Sharp thinking. Learning is the right choice. The leader attributes his subordinates' performance behavior to one of two types of reasons. Excellent choice. Either internal or external is the right answer. All of the following topics are typically addressed during employee orientation except . Solid response. Wage curves is a valid choice. The customer's loyalty and trust between the organization and its suppliers is referred to. Well picked. Relationship capital is the correct answer. If you are able to align more than one role at the same time, you will be able to achieve. Perfect. Work-life balance is the correct choice. Which of the following terms is not included in the definition of organizational culture? Nice work. You chose sensible procedures, and it is correct. Process of transferring the human capital into a computerized systems is a method to . Good job. Your answer store and retain intellectual capital works well here. Organizational behavior is constructed from all of the following disciplines except . You chose physics, and it is correct. Which are the factors that influence organizational behavior at the organizational level? You got it. Your choice global competition is right. Which of the following is not one of the levels in the field of organizational behavior? Good thinking. Medium-sized groups is the right answer. The study of people think, feel and do in an organization is the definition for . Nice selection. Organizational behavior is the correct and valid answer. The theory that make assumption, behavior is a function of its consequences, is . Correct. Reinforcement theory is the right answer. What is the focus of the open systems perspective in organizational effectiveness? Great job. Maintaining a close fit with changing conditions is the accurate answer. Refers to the action of an organism or system, usually in relation to environment. Strong choice. Behavior is the right answer. Is the study of what people think, feel, and do in and around organizations. Correct response. Organizational behavior is the most accurate answer. What is a disagreement between groups or employees regarding work-related issues? Exactly. Organizational conflict makes sense, and it is right choice. The adjustment of one's behavior to align with the norms of the group is called. Great thinking. Conformity is the right choice. Organizational behavior focuses on 3 interrelated levels of analysis. Well-reasoned. Planning, executing, and results is the correct choice. What is the significance of understanding organizational behavior in nursing? Right again. It improves patient safety and quality of care is a valid answer. This theory hypothesizes that no single best type of leadership style exists. Right choice. Situational leadership is the best answer. Allowing our behavior to be influenced by stereotypes about groups of people. You're right. Discrimination is the correct answer. What do FOSS see as being the top reason why some employees fail to advance? Smart pick. Lack of interpersonal skills is the correct choice. The degree to which a person psychologically identifies with his or her job. Valid point. Job involvement is true.
A common definition of organizational behavior is that it is the study of. Smart move. All of the above is an accurate answer.
What is the triple bottom line in the context of organizational behavior? Excellent. Economy, society, environment is a brilliant choice. It is not a purpose of the corporate communication dash. Bravo! None of the answers is the answer based on awareness of our sense. This statement best describe about dash. Clear logic. Your choice attitudes is sound and 100% true. Which of the following best defines organizational behavior in nursing? Well done. The study of human behavior in healthcare settings is the right choice. What does behavioral organizational theory give the most importance to? Nicely done. Personnel is a solid answer. Group behavior, power, and conflict are central areas of study for dash. On track. Social psychologists is the correct answer. When is organizational culture considered dysfunctional? Choose one answer. Bravo. When cultural incompatibility deters making acquisitions or mergers is the answer. What is an advantage of a strong organizational culture? Choose one answer. Well reasoned. The company has low employee turnover is the correct choice. Which factor influences the behavior of nurses within an organization? Good job. Your answer, external regulations, works well here. All of the following are ways to maintain organizational memory except perfect. Hiring individual and acquiring other companies is the correct choice. Which of the following is not a core topic of organizational behavior? Clear logic. Your choice resource allocation is sound and 100% true. There is several strategies to build organizational commitment, except smart pick. Employee complaint is the correct choice. The following are the reasons of study organizational behavior except. Nicely done. To judge the organizational events is a solid answer. Contributing disciplines to the organizational behavior field is GAR. Or. Great job. All the above is the accurate answer. As per the priorities, arrange the models of organizational behavior. You got it? Your choice autocratic, custodial, supportive, and collegial is right. What is the ultimate dependent variable in organizational behavior? You're right. Organizational effectiveness is the correct answer. The study of the organizations and those people who work for them. Excellent. Organizational behavior is a brilliant choice. What does CS stand for in the context of organizational behavior? Valid point. Corporate social responsibility is true. Factors that cause behavior in an organization are the following. Strong choice. Opportunity for promotion is the right answer. Motivation has what kind of effect on organizational commitment? Correct response. Moderation correlation is the most accurate answer. What is the central principle of Theory Y? According to McGregor.
Good thinking. Integration of individual and organizational goals is the right answer.
Which one is not an impact obtained from organizational behavior? Nice selection. Stressful workplace is the correct and valid answer. Two of the greatest challenges of today's organizations are dash. On track? Different generations and globalization is the correct answer. Which of the following actions is an example of good leadership? Solid response. Motivating employees toward higher levels of productivity is a valid choice. Action that increases the likelihood of a particular behavior. Excellent choice. Positive reinforcement is the right answer. Which of the following is an organizational structure change? Smart move. Changing who reports to whom is an accurate answer.
The organizational requirements, according to S. Robbins, are
Exactly. Have a common goal makes sense, and it is right choice. Dash is concerned with the study of human behavior at work. Nice work. You chose organizational behavior, and it is correct. One of the effects of globalization on organization is dash. Correct. New organizational structures is the right answer. Which of these describes the primary concern of a manager? You chose accomplishing organizational goals, and it is correct. Which does not include aspects of organizational behavior? Right choice. Anthropometric is the best answer. The science supporting organizational behavior, except. Well done. Ecology is the right choice. What factors influence group dynamics in organizations?
Well picked. Communication, leadership style, organizational culture, diversity, and group size is the correct answer.
3 levels to analyze an organizational behavior are
Great thinking, individual, group, and organization is the right choice. Which of these is not a step in the shaping process? Sharp thinking. Punishing behavior that deviates from the terminal behavior is the right choice. Classical organizational theory focused on dash. Right again. The efficient structuring of organizations is a valid answer. Organizational behavior is the study of how people. Well done. All of the above is the right choice. Group cohesiveness is largely a measure of how dash. Sharp thinking. Much individuals share the group's goals is the right choice. Importance of organizational behavior as below dash. Well reasoned. All of these is the correct choice. Which one is the 5 stages of conflict process? Clear logic. Your choice potential incompatibility, cognition and personalization, intentions, behavior, outcomes is sound and 100% true. What is the source of power in the organization? Valid point. Controlling limited resources is true. How many issues are there in political behavior? You got it. Your choice 3 is right. It is your gut feeling. Explanation of behavior. Excellent choice. Intuition is the right answer. One of the implication in changing workforces. Correct. Competitive advantage is the right answer. A force that influences your behavior is called. Right again. Motivation is a valid answer.
What is needed to form organizational behavior?
Great thinking. Apply good leadership. Training is the right choice.
How do we know about organizational behavior? Smart pick. Experience, intuition, authority, and science is the correct choice. What are the types of withdrawal behavior? Smart move, exit, voice, loyalty, neglect is an accurate answer. Group norms are typically established dash. Right choice. Informally by the entire group is the best answer.
What are the 3 levels of OB analysis?
Solid response. Organizational, group, individual is a valid choice. What does an organization chart depict? Great job. Relationships between employees is the accurate answer. The nature of people consists of. Good thinking. All of these is the right answer. Negative norm can lead to dash.
Perfect. Counterproductive work behavior is the correct choice.
Contingencies of reinforcement. Strong choice. Behavior theory is the right answer. Motives of the subconscious. Well picked. Psychoanalytic theory is the correct answer. What is an attitude? Nice selection. A behavior or feeling based on our opinion is the correct and valid answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Correct response. Contact Narayan Chengder is the most accurate answer.